A reminder, though, this Saturday, talkSPORT brings you live World Heavyweight title boxing as AJ Anthony Joshua faces Daniel Dubois at Wembley Stadium.
Let's go. Let's go.
But let's wait till the 21st.
You want to go now? Let's go.
Relax.
You want to go now?
Go. Chair across your face.
When His Excellency said we want to bring Riyadh season to London, to Wembley, he's done it with probably the best card we've ever seen in this country from top to bottom.
Daniel Dubois has stopped Bill Kovacevic and picked up the biggest win of his career.
Don't disrespect.
No, you can't intimidate.
Don't disrespect.
You can't intimidate me.
Don't disrespect.
You can't intimidate me.
Daniel, don't
Who do you
disrespect.
think you are?
Daniel, don't disrespect me. Don't disrespect me on my life.
Colossal right hand from Daniel Dubois.
My gut feeling is Dubois is going to pull this one off.
There you go! Let's go!
Come on, Francis Ngannou.
Listen to my fight on talkSPORT, the home of boxing.
Can't wait for this one. Our expert team on the night will bring you closer to the action, and of course you can watch along with us over on the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel. That's AJ against Dubois this Saturday night right here on the talkSPORT network and the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel. Join us now to build up to this weekend's action. He's one of our favourite people on the planet, former super bantamweight and featherweight champion of the world, Carl Frampton.
How are you, boys?
How are you, Carl?
I'm good.
How lovely to have you in the studio.
Yeah.
You
sorry,
ran in. That's
I'm
all
late.
right.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
That's fine. Don't worry. You're Carl Frampton. You do what you want. Okay? You ran in. You quickly took one last, and then you put the fag out. And you ran.
Carl, what did you make of his comments earlier about the he put one
No,
in
I
the
heard
chin?
the Leon, who's driving me, he'll be listening in the car. On the
Lay on
way,
the
but-
grass.
Lay on the grass.
Yeah.
You could not.
No. Here's my thing. One punch.
No, I couldn't do it.
I couldn't knock you out. One
No,
punch.
No.
Why? What would happen? What?
No, nothing would happen. You get hit. I just don't think you know how to punch correctly.
Uppercut. Whack.
Well,
Take you off your feet. Do you reckon if I had 10, I could? Bang, 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 bang,
10,
bang.
maybe 10, maybe.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Not one though.
Yeah.
Don't know. I've got a good right.
I wouldn't let you have 10.
Why? What'd you do?
You hit me the first time and then you're getting chinned. You know what I mean?
Can I ask? We'll talk back to why in just a moment because you just walked in the studio. I'm curious. I heard this years ago. I think it was Nigel Benn. Someone said it about Nigel Benn. That if I was in the boxing ring with you and you had your hands tied behind your back for 3 minutes, you couldn't punch me back, but I wouldn't be able to land a punch on you. Is that true?
Yeah, you'd hit me, but I think I'd be clever enough not to get knocked out.
Oh right, okay. Yeah, I mean,
What? And after the 3 minutes, you
no, of
tie his
course
hands.
he'd kill me. Obviously.
Please.
What? I told you, 5'10".
6'4".
No, hey, he's 5'8".
5'11". Shut up!
We measured him out there. It's 5'8".
Depending on what shoes I've got on
Yeah,
and what tape measure you have, about 5'11". I think a bit higher.
5'11".
Yeah.
Get everyone laughing in there because they know you're lying.
Come and smash. Thank you for coming in.
No problem.
We've got lots to talk to you about. A bit later on, we'll talk about you and all that sort of stuff. But listen, we've just heard Joshua and Dubois have a little chat. We are building up to live coverage on talkSPORT on Saturday night. It's a fascinating fight for so many reasons. I suppose the obvious favourite is going to be Anthony Joshua. I was listening to Spencer Oliver this morning and Gareth A. Davies. I think on the breakfast show they were talking about the fight. One of the interesting things I'm looking forward to is seeing how Daniel Dubois is going to handle boxing in front of 96,000. I think his last fight was in front of 60,000. But AJ's used to fighting at Wembley Stadium, if of course you can get used to fighting at Wembley Stadium. How much of a part do you think the crowd can and will play for either fighter?
I think it definitely plays a part, but I mean, is there much of a difference of fighting in front of 60 than 93? You know, it's a noise. And when you're focused on the fight in front of you, I don't think it pays. I don't think there's that much of a difference. Genuinely. I mean, it's got to be an honour and a massive privilege to fight in front of that many people, but there's not many people fought in front of 60,000 people either. So I think it could play its part. Certainly, AJ is going to be the guy that's more used to that, if you ever get used to fighting in front of them crowds, but it's an amazing fight. It really is a good fight. And like you said, AJ's the favourite. I have AJ as the favourite as well, genuinely. But it wouldn't surprise me if Big Daniel's looked really good in his last couple of fights. Wouldn't surprise me if he does something here.
Do you think? I mean, you spoke about the atmosphere, and AJ he's fought in that type of arena so many times, but all the pressure almost feels like, even though he's not the champion, why does all the pressure feel like it's on AJ to become like a three-time world champion?
Well, I think it is, and I think the pressure's on him because, well, when you're a favourite in the fight, there's always pressure on you. When people expect you to beat the guy that you're facing, that brings a different type of pressure as well. But I think that outside of, this fight gets the attention of the general public, not just boxing fans, casual boxing fans, and even people that aren't even casual boxing fans, just the general public will pay attention to this a bit, and they know AJ. A lot of them maybe don't know who Dubois is, and they just there's this expectation of AJ just to beat people, and that brings it's a terrible, it happened to me once in a fight where I fought a guy called Kiko Martinez for a world title, but I'd fought him previously and I'd knocked him out in the 9th round, but it was nip and tuck until I knocked him out, and people just assume, well, he's going to beat him again. I remember just thinking it's not as easy as that. So I think there's a bit of that about AJ.
What happened in that next fight?
I beat him, but I beat him on points. Yeah.
No two fights are the same, right?
No.
I can't remember if it was you I asked this question to or someone else in the boxing fraternity, but if I have, then stop me. It's about what Carl Froch said about if AJ wins the belt and becomes 3-time champion of the world. Was it you I spoke to? He basically alluded to the fact that because he wouldn't be winning the belt off a champion, the fact that Daniel Dubois has been handed this belt, that he doesn't really see it as a 3-time world champion, because to be world champion you should be beating a world champion.
I get.
Do you agree with that, or is that a bit harsh?
I get what he's saying. It might be slightly harsh, but I completely get what he's saying. If I'm Daniel Dubois, and I wouldn't be calling myself a world champion at the minute. You know, he beat Hrgovic in his last fight for an interim title, but he never won the full world title against Usyk or Fury. Yeah. And he's been given it in a boardroom pretty much. You know, that's what's happened. So I think that certainly Daniel Dubois beats AJ. He's entitled to call himself a world champion, but just at this point in time, why is the belt not just vacant? There's no need for one of them to be a champion. You know what I mean? I don't understand it, but that's just the way it is.
Would it be a bigger fight? Sorry, Benny. Would it be a bigger fight if it was vacant and the winner won it? I know the winner's going to win it anyway.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I don't think it makes a difference. No.
Okay.
When you look at this fight, and say AJ was to get beat, what will that do to? Because it seems like everyone wants to see AJ versus Fury, which I can understand. Yeah. But if AJ was to get beat, what will that do for his career, do you think? But for Daniel Dubois, where does he go from there if he beats AJ?
Daniel Dubois goes to the top of the pecking order. He fights the winner of Fury and Usyk. He's already fought Usyk and give a good account of himself. And then it kind of ended not in the way that we expected to, but Dubois goes, if Dubois wins it, he becomes a superstar overnight. If AJ loses, it's a hard road back, but he's still a marquee name. You can still put him in the big fights. If AJ loses against Dubois, depending on how he loses, you can still put him in against Usyk or Fury or Dubois in a rematch.
If AJ loses and Fury loses, AJ Fury is still as big as it was ever. Yeah.
Not as big as it was, but it's still a huge
massive
fight. Still a huge fight.
We've got you for at least half an hour, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Don't forget, of course, as well as hearing Anthony Joshua versus Daniel Dubois live on talkSPORT this weekend, you can also watch it on TNT Sports Box Office. Carl, you're going to be part of TNT's team, bringing you all the action this Saturday. Has anyone ever told you look like Iniesta?
You did about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, but apart from that,
no.
Can you see Iniesta in him?
No.
A little bit. There's a little bit of Iniesta. No?
What do you call the boy at the Austrian at Bayern Leverkusen? I get him.
The what?
The Austrian player at Bayer Leverkusen.
Do you know that one?
No.
Okay.
Midfielder. Can't remember his name.
We'll come back to that.
Yeah.
No.
Leverkusen.
Now, don't forget, AJ against Dubois is live this Saturday right here on talkSPORT and our talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel. Join us now to build up to the weekend's action. Former European Super Bantamweight champion Spencer Oliver and boxing reporter Gareth A. Davis live from the open workouts at Wembley Arena. Boys, hello, good evening to you.
Very good evening to you as well, gentlemen in the studio, the great triumvirate that you are. You've got to look behind me first of all. The mock-up of Buckingham Palace here at the OVO Wembley Arena. They're opening the gates for them. They've got the horse guards with their busbees there watching them out. The walk is into the ring. We've had several fighters already. It's a really, really big, loud, great atmosphere here. The third set piece of the week, Spencer Oliver.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic setup here actually. Yeah, we've had Joshua Boatsi in the ring. Willie Hutchinson's coming up. Crowds are building. We've got a few live fights here as well. It's a real big event here, bigger than the normal. When you have these open workouts, you know, they've become a little bit stale, but this has been reinvented. This is bigger, better, and yeah, look at the setting behind us.
Josh Kelly about to walk to the ring. Adam Booth is up there. We're going to wait to see Anthony Joshua and Daniel Dubois do their work with their respective trainers, Ben Davison and Don Charles tonight. I don't think they'll give away very much, but it's going to be nice to see them physically, and there's 3 fights here to entertain people tonight at the arena.
Boys, listen, it's not. I understand that the music is so loud and pumping that you can just about hear us. So I'll ask you a question, and then Benny will, and then we'll let you go. Just tell us a little bit more about the fights that are actually happening today. That's very unusual, isn't it, for a live workout?
Yeah, it really is unusual. Like, this is the first time that has ever happened. We've got 3 fights on here today, and the one that will really stand out to you is Adam Hamed. That's Nazim Hamid's son. He goes again for the 3rd time, you know, in his professional boxing career. So that's real excitement here as well. And we've got Chris Congo boxing on the bill as well. So, you know, decent name fighters. It's not just 3 ordinary fights we got here. It's a big event that's going on.
And what happened was, when they had the Los Angeles Riyadh event, they did the same thing on Santa Monica Pier, just to extend it and make it a bigger event on the night. So it's a bit of entertainment for us here. The broadcasters here, I think DAZN show it. It's live on the talkSPORT YouTube channel as well. You can watch along for anyone that's listening right now.
Okay, boys, we're going to let you go because it's so loud, but enjoy the rest of the day. There you go, that's Spencer Oliver and Gareth A. Davis. talkSPORT's answer to Dick and Dom. You can work out which one's which. Carl Frampton is still with us in the studio. Carl, did you used to mind the open workouts before a big fight of yours?
No, you'd prefer not to do them. I understand why you have to do them, but it's just it's a pain in the backside, to be honest.
Yeah.
At that stage, when you're fighting in my weight divisions, you're just hungry, and you don't want to do anything.
When you say hungry, you mean physically hungry for food?
Yeah, hungry for food.
Oh,
yeah.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something about the weight divisions, right? So you're a two-weight champion of the world, right?
Yeah.
And I hear this so often with fighters that it's difficult to stick to the weight, right? You got to lose X amount. You know, you weigh yourself a day before, 2 days before, you got to lose 2 pounds. And why don't we see boxers? There's obviously an obvious answer. Fight at their normal weight that they're comfortable with.
That would probably be the best thing to do. But everybody, how do you know that someone's fighting at their normal weight? You know what I mean? You could be fighting a guy. If you fight at your walk around weight, you could. Which my walk around weight was maybe like 10.5 stone. I'd be fighting a guy coming down from 12.5. So it doesn't. I don't know how you would monitor that, but I think that would be probably the right thing to do.
How many fights did you fight when you were comfortable with your weight and it wasn't a pain?
I was never comfortable with my weight. Never once. I had 31, 32 fights.
Yeah.
Never once was it comfortable.
Well, you know, if you are trying to make weight, and I always hear that, is it the last part of it is the most difficult?
Yeah.
Why is it so difficult, and what are you doing?
Because I used to leave it. Well, for me personally, I used to leave. You kind of get your body fat off as much as possible. The last bit's always just water, so you're flushing the water out of your body. So it's not really calories or fat or anything else coming off. It's literally just depleting yourself of water. So the worst I ever had it. Now this will sound big to you guys, but boxers will just laugh at this. The most I ever had to lose the morning of a weigh-in was 6.5 pounds.
So just under half a stone.
Yeah, but there's people doing 10, 11, 12.
In what time frame?
In 3-4 hours.
Oh, how can you lose half a stone in 3 hours?
You train in sauna suits, like plastic suits. I used to train about 3 or 4 pounds off skipping, but literally skipping, very easy stuff, sitting on a bike, and then I would get the clothes off, check the weight, and then do the rest in the sauna.
If you got a phone call today, right, and you had a ridiculous amount of money offered for you to fight, I don't know, Jake Paul, whatever, and you took the fight, but it was at the weight you were used to fighting, how long would it take you to get back into shape to lose the weight?
Oh,
because you're looking good, Nick. Now,
no, I'm late. I'm soft, but so okay. I haven't. I'm probably 10 is my weight now. Something about that, but. Yeah, I could think of nothing worse than trying to get down to 9 stone.
Do you train a lot now?
No.
Not
very
at all?
little. No, I do. Every now and again, I get the notion and go for a run, and I do a couple of runs a week, and then I don't do anything else for 6 weeks. So it doesn't make sense really. But
Did you just stop then?
Yeah, I hated training. I always hated training. Hated it. Done it. I was seen it as a job, and I'd done it because I thought I had to do it.
Yeah.
And I did, but never ever enjoyed it.
When was the last time you put a pair of gloves on? A little.
I've done a thing recently with Josh Warrington as a bit of a mock-up for his fight that he's fighting on the AJ bill.
Yeah.
But I haven't done it seriously since I retired.
Is there anything about that you miss? A lot of footballers.
I can get it why a footballer misses playing football, because I love playing football. I'm not very good, but I enjoy the game. But boxing is not a game that you enjoy.
No, but a lot of footballers, when they say they retire, the thing they miss is sort of the banter in the dressing room. Do you miss that from the gym?
I miss that. I was with a good bunch of boys up in Manchester in the last sort of 3.5 years. I do miss that. I've fond memories of that, and I've made friends for life there. I don't get to train with them, don't get to see them every day anymore. But yeah, that's sad.
You do obviously you do the media stuff, which is obviously you're brilliant at it. Did you ever think about, as in coaching, being a trainer, boxing trainer, or just the moment you retired, that was it?
That was it. I never ever thought about being a trainer. I think training, you gotta look at. So trainers typically, they don't just have one boxer; they have maybe 4, 5, 6, 7 more. So you're preparing a boxer for maybe 8 or 10 weeks for a fight. He has his fight, and then the next guy's coming in for his fight. You literally have no time to yourself. So training would be the last thing I'd want to do. I like doing nothing, chilling out and
drinking whiskey.
Drinking whiskey.
How's your whiskey going? Is it all right?
It's going well. There's a few investors interested at the minute, so
that's nice.
Yeah, we're in a good place.
How many push-ups could you do right now?
40.
Okay, still pretty good, isn't it? To be fair. When we come back, we'll have more of a chat with you about the world of boxing, if that's okay. Who do you think will win the Dubois Joshua fight? By the way,
I think AJ, but I'm starting to have a feeling that Dubois could do something here the closer it gets. I've always thought AJ from the start since it was announced, but it wouldn't surprise me if Dubois upsets him.
If Dubois is going to win it, where's it going to be? Middle of the fight? End of the fight? Late.
Yeah.
Why?
I think that he has a big engine, Dubois, and Joshua has been questioned on his engine at times. I think he's obviously very muscle bound, and I think if Dubois wins, he wins it late.
Just quickly, the last 2 fights that both fighters have had, Dubois had a much stiffer test. AJ's have been relatively easy. One, of course, wasn't even a professional fighter in Francis Ngannou. Does that matter going into a fight? If you were going to have a big fight, how relevant are the last 2 fights of yours?
Yeah, I think it matters a bit. I think that you look at what AJ, obviously, he done what he done to Ngannou. That's what Fury should have done to Ngannou, but clearly he's a serious puncher and he's an athletic specimen. Dubois has got to have serious confidence from coming through the adversity he had to against Miller and then Hrgovic, but AJ's better than Miller and Hrgovic. And I just think if Dubois gets hit as much as he did in the Hrgovic fight by AJ, it's trouble, I think.
Okay, we'll have a chat more with you in just a moment. A reminder, of course, Anthony Joshua against Daniel Dubois is live this Saturday right here on the talkSPORT network and, of course, talkSPORT Boxing's YouTube channel. I was speaking to Carl Frampton in the break and asked you a question, and then you were just about to answer, and I went, hold on, let's do it on air. I said to you, was there a moment in your career that you thought, maybe I'm getting a little bit too old? Gary Neville talks about a game, I think it was when they played West Brom, and it was in the middle of the first half, and he thought, I can't do it anymore. And you said to me it was after the first round of your last fight, and then I stopped you, and I was like, right, okay, tell me more.
At the end of the first round in my last fight, so I got beat by a guy called Jamel Herring. I was trying to win a world title in a 3rd weight division, and I had a really good camp, sparred really well, hardly lost a round of sparring, but I sat down in the stool at the end of the first round, literally thinking, I'm not the fighter that I used to be. It was weird because he's a good fighter and he's a lot bigger than me, but he wasn't the fastest guy in the world, and my timing was normally good, like my distance control and timing and reactions were good. But he was hitting me with these jabs, and I knew I wouldn't have been getting hit by 2 years ago. And there was a tail, so he's a southpaw, but he had there was a tail on his shoulder. I could see the tail.
Well, a tail is like a sign that he's going to do something.
Yeah, saying like something was happening, something was coming. So I could see that, but I was still getting hit with a jab. So I remember just sitting down at the end of the first round going, oh, this is going to be really hard tonight. And it
Wow,
was.
that's frightening, isn't it?
Then he knocked me out in round 6, I think.
Is it quite demoralising that when you?
Yeah, it was weird. It was so because then it changed. I knew the game plan was kind of use my feet, my reactions, and make him fall short and stuff. But I couldn't do that. So then I had to like try to bull in and get close to him, and it's not really my style. And yeah, he just he beat me up for 6 rounds.
I've never been knocked out. I hope that never happens in my life. How many times have you been knocked out?
Well, it wasn't. I got dropped twice in that fight, but I got back up and the towel came in at the end.
Have you been knocked out?
Never been knocked out.
Oh, okay.
Well, I was knocked out actually once. I fell down the stairs, poleaxed one night.
Were you really drunk?
You know, I was so bad. My wife's sister found me at the bottom, pool of blood, like neck brace, back brace, ambulance job.
Why? When was this?
It was just before the Scott Quigg fight, about 6 or 8 months before the Quigg fight, and I went off the drink for about 4 years straight. Didn't touch it.
Wow, that's pretty bad,
Yeah,
right?
it was a bad one. Yeah, it was. See the scar on there.
No, I can't see the scar.
I see it.
Yeah, it was that one. Yeah.
What were you celebrating something or?
No, it was just
Tuesday.
Just on,
Big Tuesday, yeah.
Wow.
What when you look back at all your fights, what one are you most proud of?
There's two. So the Kiko Martinez, the first world title win in Belfast.
Yeah.
That's the big one and a dream accomplished. Or Leo Santa Cruz in New York as a massive underdog. First fight at a new weight division. That was a big one.
Do you watch him back on the video?
I watched them after it, but not anymore.
You not?
Nah.
You know that Santa Cruz fight. Why was there never a third trilogy? Because you won one, he won one.
Yeah, and two good fights.
Yeah.
Two close fights. I won the first one, good and close. He won the second one, good and close. Never fought me again.
How come? Was that from his side?
Well, yeah, his side. And my manager at the time never had a rematch clause in the contract. So, yeah, it wasn't me. I told him would fight. And we're talking about fighting in Belfast for a while. And I'm saying, there's no chance Leo Santa Cruz come to Belfast. I will fight you in the States again. He says he'd only do it in LA, where he's from. I said, I'll go to LA and fight you. And then still never happened.
Would you do it now?
Yeah, no. He'd be the only person I would come out of retirement to fight.
And has that ever been discussed before?
No.
Is he still boxing?
He hasn't boxed in a couple of years. He's not officially retired, but yeah.
But you would do that fight?
Yeah.
Because they'll clip this. This will go viral, and then all of a sudden it may happen.
I'd fight.
You would do that, would you?
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking about it now. I don't know.
Would your wife have a problem with it?
Oh, she'd be raging.
Okay.
Raging, but we'll see.
Money talks, right?
Let's speak about the money first, and then we'll talk.
Yeah,
about
but possibly you would take this fight on.
Possibly.
All right. Didn't Devonta Davis destroy him?
Yeah, he chinned him bad, but he was doing all right. Leo was doing all right in the fight, and then he just got cleaned out with an amazing uppercut. But that's what Tank is. He's got stupid power.
Is he the best in the division? Is he one of the best pound for pound on the planet?
Yeah, unbelievable fighter. And he's a midget. If you think I'm small, he's about 5'2".
Is it what?
Oh, he's maybe 5'3". He's tiny.
Wow.
If I walked into your house, would I know you're a boxer?
Would you know I was a boxer?
Yeah. Do you have all your stuff out?
In one room,
You have got it out?
Yeah.
No, I think all sports people should, but the amount of footballers that come in here, it's only footballers actually.
Yeah.
Petit and no World Cup.
Emmanuel Petit's won the World Cup,
Yeah,
right?
I know, yeah.
Nothing's out in his house.
Nothing.
I know, it's terrible.
Nah.
What are you most proud of that you've got?
I got the Ring Magazine Fighter of the Year belt in 2015. So, everyone's... Ray Leonard's won that, Muhammad Ali, Joe Lewis, you go way back, and then I won it in 2015.
That's amazing.
That's amazing. That's the proudest thing I've ever done.
So the ring belt...
It's like someone described it as the Ballon d'Or of boxing.
So the ring belt...
Great description.
Is it the ring and the WBC are seen as the...
Yeah, ring's the one. WBC used to be the nice one to win, but any world title belt, I think they're all equivalent now. But if you're the ring champion, you're the boy.
And who's got that in the heavyweight division?
Usyk.
He's got all of them part of my IBF, right?
Yeah.
It's nice that.
Carl Frampton, thank you for coming in. 45 minutes has flown by annoyingly so quick. I mean, that's a good sign, right? But it's just
I enjoyed that, boys. Thanks for having me.
Our pleasure. Before we let you go, what's the name of your whiskey?
Stablemate.
Okay. And people can see you on TNT Sport this weekend for the Dubois fight, right?
Yeah, doing the fight with me, Laura Woods, Big Bunsey, and Mr. Lennox Lewis.
So wow, what a lineup that is. So you're going to be there at Wembley, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That'd be great. Hopefully I'll see you later on tonight.
Maybe.
Or maybe not.
Maybe. We'll see.
If you get to your hotel, you definitely won't want to stay there. Carl, we love you. It's such an honour having a superstar like you in the studio, so I really appreciate your time.
Thanks, boys.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.